Shalom. Before I begin, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Al-Shah, Ba'ashem, Kodash, and the honors to the apostles and Elder Green Millstone. Shalom to the I can teach this word throughout the four corners in true sincerity. Back on the lesson. But spend prayer, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Al-Shah, and Lord willing to be edifying unto the elect of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Al-Shah. All right, the true name of God is Yahweh, all right, which means He is. And his son's name is Yahweh Shai, which means he saves or he delivers. All right. And his truth, this word, all right, is for the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, because we are the true biblical Israelites according to the scriptures. You know, we fit the curses, we fit the promises, okay, and we fit the history. All right. But you know, that being said, you know, as you can see, all right, from this article, all right, it says Trump administration plans to establish domestic civil disturbance quick reaction force, right? So let's just call it, let's just, you know, they put these names on it, just, you know, just call it what it is, all right? Martial law, all right, a pre-martial law, you can say, all right? We got troops on the ground, military on the ground, you know, they're claiming to have these troops for increase, for protests, for increased arrest. All right, for what else they said? They said for crime is rising when you look at the data. All right, it said it's not. All right, and we all know this is just a front because Esau Edom would never, you know, tell the truth because he's a devil, he's a liar. All right, the scriptures tell you that they come out speaking lies. Psalms 58:3 says the wicked. All right, and who is the wicked? The ones that are in power right now, the so-called white man, Esau Edom, are estranged from the womb. They will go straight as soon as they be born speaking lies. So, you know, they're gonna, you know, say one thing but it's not really what it is. All right, they're just, you know, born liars. They're wicked. All right, so Esau is saying this is for a domestic civil disturbance. All right, etc. You know, it's really not, because we know the times that we coming into, and then you know, Trump was just talking about setting up you know, they're doing away with this old technology. All right, they're setting up a new crypto technology. All right, we already know what's that gonna entail of. All right, for them to set up this new technology, there's gonna be an economic, all right, collapse. All right, and they're gonna force people, okay, to take the mark, the MLTB. All right, so we know it's all just a front, because we also know that Esau Edom is gonna throw us into, you know, concentration camps and etc. You know, take us out of our houses, because we don't want to be, you know, down for this system. All right, it says the Trump administration is evaluating plans that will establish a domestic civil disturbance quick reaction force composed of hundreds of National Guard troops tasked with rapidly deploying into American cities facing protests or other unrest. Right, so they can classify anything as an unrest, right? Okay, and they can call it an unrest. All right, we have these prophets, so-called, teaching on the highways and byways. All right, you know, they're causing unrest. People are complaining, and they just take us off the street. However the situation may go. All right, it says the plan calls for 600 troops to be on standby at all times so that they can deploy in as little as 1 hour. All right, and they said they will be split into two groups of 300 and stationed at military bases in Alabama and Arizona, with purview of regions east and west of the Mississippi River, respectively. All right, I'm not gonna read the whole thing. All right. There's more. The proposal, which has not been previously reported, represents another potential expansion of President Donald Trump's willingness to employ the armed forces on American soil. All right. What else? Yeah, that's all I want to read. All right, but as you can see, all right, troops on the ground, Jake. All right, but we already know that these things were gonna happen, you know, upon the earth. All right, Esau's gonna have troops, all right, come and take us out of our homes and etc. Because it's all a part of you know, prophecy. You know, we get thrown into prison. All right, this is just a part of the battle. All right, and you know, Lord willing, we part of the elect. All right, the Lord will deliver us. All right, this Revelation 2:10. It says, for none of the things which thou shalt suffer, behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So, that's the position, that we're put in. All right, to, get thrown into prison. And, however long that tribulation may be, could be 10 days, could be less, could be more. We just have to remain faithful. All right, because at the end of the day, all right, this is what, we signed up for. All right, we have to hold fast of this truth, okay? And let no man take our crown. Even this devil, Esau, Edom. All right, when you skip down, it says, but that which ye already have, it's like that which ye have already hold fast till I come. And he that overcome and keeping my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And ye shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels as of a potter. Shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my Father. So we have to hold on to this truth, no matter what, trial or tribulation that we may go through. All right. But our expectation is to make it through. All right. This is what we signed up for. All right. Sirach 2:1. All right. What it says. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thyself for temptation. And, as we get closer and closer, all right, to the end, and closer and closer to the return of Yahushua, these are situations that we're gonna get put in, hard to bear situations. Let's go into the word, tribulation right quick. All right, let me see if I have it in the etymon. It says state or condition of great affliction, oppression, suffering, or distress, physical, emotional, or spiritual. All right, it says distress, trouble, affliction. All right, to oppress, afflict, to thresh out grain, threshing sledge. All right, so we're gonna go through, physical, emotional and spiritual, distress, while in this truth. But it's ultimately making us prepared and making us hard for that day, so we can come out as fine gold. We can pass, the tests and trials that's set before us. All right, but we know that this is coming. Okay. 2 Ezra 16. 70. It says, for there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. So there's going to be a uprising, all right, against us, the men of the Lord, all right, because we're the ones, all right, to say the true men of the Lord, because we're the ones prophesying against, all right, this system, prophesying against, Esau's rulership, that this shit going down, that he's going to come out with a MOTB, try to chip everybody up, all right, to be under one new world order, all right. And that's going to be the real reason for it. But he's going to paint it as, oh, these guys are, they're violent. All right, they're extreme, they're terrorists, etc. All right. We already know. Because again, it happened in the past with the prophets, with Yahushua. All right. Getting, Peter getting thrown into prison. All right. Stephen getting stoned. All right. Men of the Lord just catching hell. Paul going into prison. All right. Being betrayed and etc. Okay. It says, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Again, why is that? Because we're not going to be down for this system. We're not going to take MOTB. All right, Esau knows who we are. He knows we're enemy number one. He's not worried about Jake that bear arms. He's not worried about, all right, these Edomites that think they can fight against the system. They're not worried about that. Okay? They're going to come after us. Right, when you go to Wisdom of Solomon 2, it talks about, Esau basically seeing, all right, what's going to happen when he come up against us, all right, to try us, to see if what we're saying is true, if the Lord is really going to intervene for us. And he is, because that's our expectation. All right, because if we already know what's going to happen, that means what the Lord was saying was true. So how much more, All right, the salvation, the deliverance. All right, beating our enemies. The Lord giving us spiritual power. All right, and that's another point as well. Spiritual power. Esau having these troops come against us. Lord's not going to leave us defenseless. It says, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. So again, it's all going to be a part of our test, and it's going to be part of our story as well. This is the man that stood stiffly for the name of Yahweh Shema Shai. It's going to be a great reward in heaven, for us when we succeed. And I say when we succeed, all right? Because you got brothers throughout the four corners of the earth, all right, that's going to go through the things that, each of us are going to go through different tests, different trials, all right? We just need to be found faithful. It says, hear, O ye my beloved, say the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid of the doubt, for the Most High is your guide. All right, so all the hell that we about to catch, all right, again, we know it's coming. All right, we may get a little scared here and now because we're in the flesh. All right, we may go through it, but we just need to call upon the name of the Lord with faith and belief, and we have to know that there's power behind that name. Like when David called upon the Lord, when David knew that the Lord was with him when he was fighting Goliath. That's how we have to approach, all right, the situation that we about to get, thrown in. All right, we about to get thrown into the fire. All right, but we gonna come out, shining. I just imagine how great it's gonna be to know that the Lord was with you all this time. We know He's with us now, but definitely knowing, when all hell break loose, when you got spiritual power, when Esau coming after you, and angels, you have your angel around you, all right, delivering you out of certain situations. And when the Lord directing your steps to where to go when you get chased after, you just hear a voice go right, go left, hide here, hide there, all right. That's how it's gonna be. That's how we gotta expect it's gonna be, because we're gonna need the divine intervention. Because again, Esau got troops on the ground. We can't fight against that. His blessing is the sword, right? It's Isaiah 59:19. It says, so shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh from the west, and His glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy, all right, who's our enemy? All right, Esau, Edom, shall come in like a flood. The spirit of the Lord Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him. All right, so let's go into the words, right? Let's go into the words. All right, Isaiah 59:19. It goes to the word standard. It goes into escape, to flee, take flight, disappear, to fly, to attack on horseback, to drive at, to put to flight, to cause to disappear, hide, to drive hastily. So when Esau, send his troops, troops to rush into brothers' homes, to rush into our homes, I expect, spiritual power. And if you don't get spiritual power, expect the Lord to deliver you, because Lord may have it that you get delivered to a concentration camp. Because I just read Revelation 2:10. All right, some of us are going to get cast into prison. Some of us going to get spiritual power. Every test is going to be different. But our expectation is to be delivered. All right, and our expectation is to strive for the truth unto death. All right, you may have a brother that, caused, and I had a dream about that a couple of years ago. All right, it was me and, two brothers. All right, Kabar and Yara. All right, we was sitting on the couch. All right, and basically martial law troops rushed in the house, and then they was shooting. But then when it was shooting, it was like it was in like slow motion, and the bullet, it didn't hit me, but I knew it was coming towards me, but it went through me. All right, and then I just punched. I punched the martial law troop. Right. I just punched the troop, and then the dream ended. Right, so showing you, all right, the things that we go come into. All right, it's not far-fetched. The Lord needs us to have faith. You have to have faith. If you don't have faith, then you're not gonna get the spiritual power. All right, Scripture say if you have faith as a mustard seed, you shall lift a mountain. Thou shalt be able to lift mountains. So just imagine the power that we're going to receive. All right. You know, downloading this lesson was edifying. I want to give our praises to Yahweh, Bashem El Shai, Bashem Mekap, Dash in the bonus to the apostles, and the elders, great millstone, and Shalom to the Hakim teaching, the four corners, and truth, and sincerity. Shalom.